Good morning. It is Thursday, July 11th, and today is the memorial of Saint Benedict. This is Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio and the Ave Maria Radio app. I'm Matthew Handley. I have details on a Catholic hospice care service in our community, but first your local weather and this news. Commuters were forced off Interstate 94 yesterday due to flooding from rain from the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. And about 400 people in Monroe County lost power. In several areas across the Midwest and Northeast, the storm brought tornadoes and flooding. Genesee County still has a flood warning in effect for the Kearsley Creek and Davison until this evening. All of Michigan's Democrats in Congress are still supporting President Joe Biden's bid for re-election, despite his poor debate performance against former President Donald Trump. Congresswoman Haley Stevens says she knows there is growing doubt about Biden.
I remain really enthusiastic about it. I recognize that we're in a tough moment, that people are nervous.
U.S. Senator Gary Peters says Biden is, quote, as sharp as ever. Congressman Sri Tanadar of Detroit also says he's 100% behind the president. And Congresswoman Debbie Dingell says Trump and the Republicans are loving the concern among Democrats. And with less than 4 weeks until the August primary election, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says 1.5 million voters have requested an absentee ballot. She says over 178,000 have already returned their ballot, and both numbers have surpassed the record set in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Benson says we are on track to exceed the high voter turnout in 2020. 11 of the 19 victims who survived the mass shooting at a block party on Detroit's east side have been released from the hospital. They are between 17 and 25 years old. Police say they believe the shooting was not a random attack, and the 8 people still hospitalized are all in stable condition. The do not drink water advisory that was issued for Sylvan Township in Washtenaw County after damage was done to the water treatment plant has been lifted. There were around 300 homes impacted by the advisory, which was issued as a precaution. A suspect tampered with several controls, water valves, and a scale that weighs chemicals to add to the water over the weekend. He's a 33-year-old man from Belleville who was arrested. And I have an obituary to bring to your attention this morning. Sister Mary Ruth Korolewski, CSF of Wyandotte, passed away on June 23rd. Sister Korolewski joined the Felician community in 1947 and received the name Sister Mary Ruth. She taught at many schools across Michigan during her life. Her funeral was on June 28th, and she was laid to rest at Holy Sepulchre Cemetery in Southfield. She was 95. Requiescat in pace. This is Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio and the Ave Maria Radio app.
Persecution around the world has manifested itself through the centuries, but it is worse today than ever before. Aid to the Church in Need and its donors have been there to help since 1947, never abandoning the Church or her most vulnerable children. Will you stand up for your faith and accompany our brothers and sisters on their spiritual journey? Visit churchinneed.org. churchinneed.org.
The rain is gone and the sun will be out today in Detroit. Our high will be 81. Tonight we'll have some partly cloudy skies and lows will dip to 65. Tomorrow we'll have a 30% chance of midday showers and our high will reach 84. Saturday will be sunny with highs in the upper 80s, and Sunday will be mostly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms, highs around 90. We'll have mostly sunny skies today in Saginaw, but we can't rule out a chance of a shower during our evening commute. Our high will be around 80. Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies and lows around 64. Tomorrow we may see some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Our high will reach 82. Saturday will be sunny with highs in the mid-80s, and there's a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Highs in the upper 80s. Caring for the sick and the dying is one of the corporal works of mercy, and there's a care home for terminally ill people in our backyard. Mother Teresa House takes care of those who might otherwise die alone, regardless of faith, culture, or financial need. Its founder, consecrated Virgin Karen Bussey, joined Vanessa Den Hagarmo on Epiphany.
I worked in hospice care earlier. I was a medical social worker. I went to people's homes. But the first day of that work, I did that many years, but I remember maybe the first week I would notice people needed some support and help. Families needed a hand often, and sometimes there wasn't a family. So that I was aware of this need. It was, but it wasn't until much later that it seemed that the Lord moved me to do something about it myself.
So what were you noticing, I mean, in terms of what terminally ill people were not receiving that you are now providing at Mother Teresa House in Lansing?
So people, we go along, take care of ourselves. We deal with what comes, even with a serious illness, find some way to go forward. But at a point at the very end of life, you will hit a point usually that you really have to have somebody there. And sometimes it's a lot of us will live alone in our last months and years. Some of us will have maybe a spouse, but the spouse can't do this alone, especially if this is in our very elderly years. That might be too much. Or sometimes we have a loving family, but they cannot do what's needed, like with the day-to-day care around the clock. Maybe they have a large children they're caring for at the same time, or they have disabilities themselves, or whatever it is. So I think we just have to come around each other at that time and help families help each other.
Connect, collaborate, and communicate with the faith community every weekday at noon on Epiphany, right here on Ave Maria Radio. St. Benedict says, whenever you bring any good work, you should first of all make a most pressing appeal to Christ our Lord to bring it to perfection. I'm Matthew Handley. That does it for this edition of Michigan Mornings. Stay connected with me on X. I'm at Radio Handley. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. And until then, goodbye.